most part, I feel like I got it right. Uh, I mean, the only thing that I had different with the top four is I had Ohio State at 3, and I had Georgia at 2. But those two being flip flopped, I don't really care either way. So Ohio State's number 2 now, Georgia's number 3, Texas A&M 4, Oregon 5, Ole Miss 6, Texas A&M 7, Oklahoma 8. I mean, all of that was pretty standard and was, I mean, for the most part, set going into today. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it actually, honestly, going into the weekend. Unless Texas Tech lost or Georgia lost, I mean, sure, but nobody really expected Texas Tech to lose. I at least didn't think Georgia was going to lose. But yeah, that was pretty much set. It's after Oklahoma that I start to get a little uneasy about what the committee did. Alabama is in at number 9, which I had them at 10. So number 9, fine, whatever. I can accept that. Where I don't accept what they did is they put Miami in at 10. And I firmly believe that because Duke won the ACC, that is the only reason that Miami got in. If Virginia had won the ACC, Virginia would have gotten either probably the 11 seed, and then they would not have put Miami in. Notre Dame would have been in. Maybe BYU would have been in. But because Duke won, I firmly believe that is why Miami made the playoff. I don't agree that Miami should be in. I also don't really agree that Notre Dame should be in. They did lose to Miami. They did lose to Texas A&M. They did not compete for a conference title. I could see an argument for them being in. Do I think Notre Dame is a much better team now than they were, coming, when they lost to Miami, lost to Texas A&M? Do I think they're a better team now? For sure. Do I think they'd be favored against some of the teams that are ranked in front of them? Definitely. Do I think that they would win a head-to-head matchup against Miami right now? I do. Fact of the matter is, though, you still lost to Miami, so if anybody deserves to be in between those two, it is Miami. But here's the thing, neither one deserves to be in over BYU. If they had bumped Alabama out of the playoff and put Notre Dame in, we would have had an issue because you're punishing an Alabama team for losing a conference title game. And I don't think we can do that because that's just diminishing that game. People aren't going to want to play that game, or it's just we're going to get rid of conference championships if that happens. Can't really do that. Don't love that. BYU, they went 11-1 in the regular season. Their only losses are in the Big 12 title game and then in the regular season to Texas Tech, who is the number 4 team in the country, by the way. It's not like they lost to SMU or Louisville. BYU deserves to be in. And just because they didn't win the Big 12 doesn't mean they shouldn't be in. They should have been in the last few weeks when they were the first team out. I don't agree. I think BYU should have taken Miami's spot. I don't think Notre Dame should have been in. I keep saying that. It's unfortunate for BYU. I feel like the way this season went, we're in for an expansion coming up here. It's going to go to 16 teams. I don't want it to. I think 12 is plenty enough. I don't think Notre Dame was going to win the national title. I don't think Miami's going to be able to. I don't think BYU would have been able to either. So, I mean, we're really nitpicking here because none of those 3 teams are going to win it all or could win it all, in my opinion. But we do have to have that argument because it's a 12-team playoff now. But yeah, I feel like this just kind of seals it. We're going to a 16 at some point, probably a 24 at some point after that, because we'll start arguing the 17th and 18th teams in college football. It's dumb. The committee made this way harder than it needed to be. I know a lot of people do not agree that BYU should be in. And I kind of get it, because do I think BYU would be favored against Notre Dame? No. Do I think they'd be favored against Miami? No. Do I think they'd be favored against Alabama? Definitely not. I get why they didn't put BYU in, but BYU does deserve to be in the playoff. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I felt like I needed to get on here. Oh, and also, just looking at the bracket, I might as well just run through that real quick. So, Oregon's going to be hosting James Madison, and this feels disrespectful to say, but I mean, Oregon and Ole Miss kind of also got buys as the 5 and 6 seed, having to take on Tulane and JMU. They got lucky with that one. So then we've got an Oklahoma and Alabama rematch. If you asked me before the Alabama-Oklahoma game earlier this year, during and after, I would tell you a rematch, Alabama wins every time. But man, the way that Alabama's played as of late, I know Oklahoma's offense is terrible. I may take Oklahoma at home in that one. I would not have a few weeks ago, but I might do that now. So you got Ole Miss obviously moving on, Oregon moving on. I'm picking Oklahoma to move on. And then honestly, Texas A&M, while I am going to have them move on because I do not trust Mario Cristobal or really Carson Beck, I also don't really trust Texas A&M. So Miami could win that game, but I am going to pick Texas A&M to move on. So then you got Ohio State at the number 2, or Indiana at the number 1 seed, taking on. So who's the number? So that would have been. So that'd be Oklahoma. I don't see that. I don't see Oklahoma beating Indiana. I think Indiana. We saw their offense, their defense is. They're real good, and Oklahoma's offense is real bad. I think we could see a very similar game to what we just saw with Ohio in that one, but I'm winning that. And then we would have Ohio State taking on, so that'd be Texas A&M. Give me Ohio State in that one. So then we would have Georgia. They'd be taking on. They'd be taking on Ole Miss again. I mean, the way Georgia's kind of peaking right now, I would probably take Georgia in that rematch again. And then lastly, we would have Texas Tech taking on Oregon. Give me Oregon in that one. I think Oregon, if they're healthy by the time the playoffs come around, they're a scary team. Ohio State and Georgia. Man. Tough. That one's tough, honestly. And for me, right now, without looking into it too much, that has to be a coin flip for me. I'll take Georgia just because I think Georgia's really starting to hit their peak. So give me Georgia moving on to the national title in Indiana-Oregon rematch. I mean, going into this weekend, I had Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon as my scariest teams, but I'm adding Indiana to that list. So an Oregon-Indiana rematch would be phenomenal. Give me Oregon and Georgia for the national title. And Dan Lanning versus Kirby Smart. Give me the Oregon Ducks. I don't know. That one's kind of a toss-up for me as well. That's a coin flip. Georgia, Oregon, either one. I'll take Oregon. So first glance right now at how the playoff bracket has been released, I'll take Oregon to win it all. Again, I don't think it matters who gets in, whether it was Miami, Notre Dame, or BYU. I don't think either one's able to win the national title, or Alabama if we want to argue them too. I forgot about them. Either way, I think most of those teams are going to lose in the first round. I know Notre Dame has been great as of late, but still don't think they're winning it all. But yeah. Thank y'all for joining me. I figured I got to react. I was previewing it earlier. Got to react to it. Talk to you guys later this week.